top ratio counting male and female?
Oh no, I mean it scorched a regular shirt.
Would it made Larry the Cable Guy blush?
He would have been very, very proud.
Okay,
of Rankin County.
So he would have been like, he'd have gotten on stage and said, "Y'all are representing at the GOAT Tom Brady highest level."
Yeah,
New York
Knicks.
Knicks.
Yes, it was. I mean, whoa, yes.
Okay, all right.
So
there was a lot of vitamin D there because everybody's been in the sun, which is great.
Right.
There were a lot of tanks, cut off blue jean shorts. What I'm trying to think what else.
And then you had, you got your
flip flops.
Everybody. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're all wearing flip flops this time of year.
But how do you wear them to a concert?
I'm not into wearing flip flops to a concert.
I can't do it.
And first of all, it's just all the proximity to the ground. People, there's food and beverage and stuff. It's just not my. Now, when I've been to beach concert. That's different.
Oh, that's way different.
Okay.
No, you're supposed to. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah,
but I mean, they were loud and proud in them flip flops dragging them. Last night. I was, they got the sunglasses with the thing on the back to make sure they don't lose them out there in the water, out there in the reservoir, out there at the amphitheater water.
Hold on, what is that?
You know how they get they get the little thing that goes on the end of your sunglasses. So like if you're at the beach, you put a little bobber thing on there so you don't lose your sunglasses.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll show you.
I mean, I guess maybe I would if you showed it to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like,
I wouldn't think that I've ever had one.
You've never had any.
Okay.
Wilkes does.
Okay.
It's like a Coach Del Mar.
Yeah.
Are you talking about just the little thing that you hang your? Oh, yeah. I remember all that college stuff. Yeah. I get it.
Those were out.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. And the guy that just lives for it another 20 years after college, he rolls into the country club to play golf every week with the Costas and the whatever you're talking, the band.
Yeah. Like, where are you going to lose them at?
Right. Well, I mean, so fight out there on hole number 5.
Look, that's right.
I mean,
that's fair.
You got to either decide am I grabbing the 6 or 7 iron, and
I guess you don't have that split second to take the shades off, so you don't want to lose them. So they need to be stable. Okay, all right.
Hell, Ace Reese bats with shades.
He does.
I've always thought that was interesting.
It is.
I mean, obviously it works for him. He's had a phenomenal year. He's been he's about to make a ton of money a couple weeks from now. But I always thought, I've had to wear glasses my whole life.
Right.
My eyesight's awful.
Okay.
I mean, just horrendous. And so, I'm always having to wipe. I got these things.
Yeah.
You know this. I've got these,
little cloth
whatever
guys.
these things are, all in here and in my car. And I've always thought, man, that's incredible that you're willing to wear sunglasses. But I mean, he's special eyesight. Can see the ball coming right out of the pitcher's hand, see the spin. What have I got here?
I love
that type deal.
Eventually, they got to make it to where, like, those glasses can pick everything up off the rip, right? Maybe they'll highlight the ball or something.
Well, I don't know if that would be legal. But,
no, yeah, that's right.
I mean, maybe it may be. We would have to ask like Dr. Kirk Jeffries with Eye Care Professionals.
Boom.
Which, if your son or daughter needs to be able to see the softball, baseball, tennis ball, or on a crossing route, football, when there's a lot of traffic, Eye Care Professionals, Dr. Kirk Jeffries, you want your eyesight to be at optimal level. 2 locations on Lakeland Drive. 1 in Jackson, 1 Flowood, Belmead. All right, so Jackson went to Jelly Roll, but you had a good time.
Oh, man, it was
it's hard not to have a good time. With live music is so good for the soul.
That when it's...
I don't care if you're at a dive, like, you're at Mudbugs.
Right.
You're at Chuckers, McBee's, all the places. And we've got some amazing one-off musicians in this town that we don't even realize how good they are.
Yeah.
But there's just something right when it starts. And that first, you sit down, you're in your bar, you're in your dive bar, you're whatever it is. Right when the music starts, that first 15 to 20 seconds, do you notice it does something to your body, endorphins and so on?
Yep.
Because you're like, this is cool. We got some music. We're already having fun. Maybe some libations, some good food, the conversation, you're with the people you love. And then the music starts, you're like, oh, this is cool. Well, I'm glad you had fun at Jelly Roll at the Brand. I'm so glad we have the Brandon Amphitheater. Now we just need one up here, up north, near me. Selfishly. Well, Todd and Trey are putting one out in Livingston, and they've been rolling. So, brought to you by Superior Foundation, superior.ms for all your foundation repairs. Go with the leader, local with the warranty, superior.ms.
I'm good, Bo Bass.
Yes, you are.
I'm good, Bo Bass. I'm good, Bo Bass.
Something about game day postseason, isn't it? It's just, now it's going to drive some people crazy, like Wes or my buddy John. They won't even be able to breathe or function over the weekend as the Dogs and Rebs head to the Super Regional. It's National Cheese Day. You know those pork rind nachos that we love at Martin's in Livingston? How good are they? Yeah. So they've got the pork bite nachos, but then they got the pork rind nachos too. So they've got a couple of different things going on there. National Cheese Day. Can't beat it. I love nachos. What is it about nachos at a dive bar with a buddy and an ice cold beer? I mean, you got an ice cold Budweiser, ice cold on the table, or ice cold Michelob Ultra, and a hot plate of nachos hit the table from your local dive bar and grill. Does it get any better? And you're with a friend or significant other, whatever, and you're like, this is good. That's the simplicity of, but that's the grand slam also of life too, right? I mean, just a simple ice cold beer and fantastic loaded up nachos. Of course, when Wendy makes clean nachos at the house with Mississippi State Bulldog cheese, eat them or jalapeno, that's a win too. But when you're at that local dive bar and grill, that's beautiful. No doubt about it. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Total Transportation of Mississippi. Are you ready to get paid and have plenty of time off? Well, Total Transportation of Mississippi offers nationwide and regional routes for solo and team drivers. Go to totalms.com and apply today. Competitive pay, frequent home time, weekly pay, and monthly bonuses powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi. We want to welcome in Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider on 3 Sports. He's on his way to Auburn, Alabama, as Ole Miss will play Auburn. Mike Bianco against Butch Thompson. Holy Mary Olzab. Here we go. Hunter Elliott, how many postseason games has he been in? Good grief. Hooks was unbelievable on Friday night, as was Calhoun, Robertson. Ole Miss on the backside, the bullpen looks really, really good. They need to get another bat heated up. So we'll see what plays out this weekend. But we welcome in Jake Thompson on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Jake, are you in Alabama or Mississippi?
I am currently still between Oxford and Tupelo. My internal clock slipped in a little bit, so I got a little later start than I thought, but I am in the car heading east right now.
Oh, you pulled a Jackson Meadows. Okay, cool. All right, so you're on the way. I assume because you've been in this business for a while and you're from this area and you went to Ole Miss, I assume you've been to Auburn before.
I have. I've been to many a football game, but I have not. And I've walked by Plainsman Park, heading back to where they have us Media Folk Park after a Auburn football game. But I've not been inside it, so I am excited to see the inside of it this afternoon once I get there for their practice and whatnot.
Well, it was a hell of a weekend for Ole Miss. They won 2 extra inning games. Bullpen, 17 innings, only gave up 4 runs. I'd give that an A, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, their bullpen has been kind of the backbone of the team's success all season. It's what's kept them in games to hopefully get this offense that it feels like you're watching a 1980s Bash Bro type offense where it's either, clamoring home runs back to back or putting up a run in the first and then a lot of zeros after, feast or famine. But this bullpen coming off the backs, coming out after Hunter, Taylor Rave, and Kate Townsend has been dominant, and I don't know if they were more dominant anywhere else this season than they were up in Lincoln, watching them against what I think is probably the best offense they'll face this season, or postseason, I'm sorry, unless they somehow match up with Georgia in the, in the finals up in Omaha. But stifling an ASU offense, I think held them to 10 runs in 2 games or 24 innings, really, when I think ASU lit up South Dakota State and Nebraska for 28 total runs. I mean, that speaks to itself to what they were able to do. And yeah, like your lead-in said, that's got to continue, but they've got to have hopefully packed another hot bat or two in the bus yesterday, because the offense is what's the most concerning about this, I think.
If you had to pick a guy who needs to get hot or warm, just, get going at the plate, who's the first guy that comes to your mind, Jake?
I think if Pacetta can find something off that home run to dead center he got in, I guess, Game 3 or Sunday night, and just carry it over. He had a really hot April, and then after he left Tennessee, he just fell apart at the plate. He's been good defensively in the outfield, but that I think they need him to heat up to pair with Judd, who you would like to see be back to form to the guy that got to 50 home runs, 49 home runs. And then down the line, I'd like to see Foley get more, not just home run guy, but kind of like that double that he almost hit out Sunday night. There's spots all up and down the lineup, I think, and whoever they put in left field, which has just been at the plate, a black hole revolving door of pick a player out of three guys, whoever they put in there is at that bottom of the lineup. They need a bat to get hot in the 8 or 9 spot to flip the order with somebody on base once you get back to Dom Decker and Unimark and Furness. That's kind of the key, I think, against this Auburn team.
Okay. Yeah. So Auburn played, sometimes I think we overthink this, as you know, Jake, you're in this business. So we're dealing with a bunch of 19 and 21, 22-year-olds. They're all in incredible shape. Auburn had to play late into the evening Monday. The flip side is they get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all of Friday to rest and play Friday night. They played another game, but how much will that really impact them? What do you see? Maybe on the mound, the guys in the field will be maybe arms, but the guys on the field will be just fine. How do you see it, Jake?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is how it affects Auburn's rotation, because I don't think their Friday guy will be pitching tomorrow night, because I think I wasn't able to watch the game Monday where I stayed on the way back from Lincoln. I did not have ESPNU, so I was watching the A&M game instead. But I believe for Auburn had to bring out their Friday night guy again just to kind of seal the deal there until they blew the game open. So he was used twice. And I don't know if they'd run him out there tomorrow night. Butch Thompson's a smart guy, and I'm sure he knows he could let his ace get another day's rest. Hopefully you pocket a 1-0 start and use him Saturday or something like that. So I think that's the biggest thing is what rotation will Ole Miss face. Now, obviously, it's the first time they faced them, so it's not like they know what the rest of this staff has besides maybe watching some clips on tape this week and in practice. But I think they're rested. These kids are kids. We were that age, and we knew rest and recovery comes a little faster when you're that age. And so I think guys who are just standing in the field, not really exerting themselves every inning, or will be fine. But it comes down to, is Ole Miss's pitching staff going to be more rested than Auburn's? Because on paper it should be, because they played 3 games. And then they were home Monday night propping their feet up while Auburn was having to, gut one out, so to speak, until they blew it open late into the night Monday. Yeah, impressive. Auburn won 4 in a row. Impressed with Ole Miss winning 2 extra inning games. Go ahead, Jake. Well, that was the thing, was I thought maybe Central Florida would trip them up when they got back to Central Florida in that losers, kind of stretch. But, I looking at the brackets, I thought, UCLA should have had the easiest path back to a 4-0, with the teams in their regional. Proved me wrong. But I thought maybe Auburn was the second best of a team that needed to go 4 straight with the teams they had in their regional, and the Tigers proved me correct. So I was not totally shocked, but I know everybody was kind of hoping and praying that there'd be a postseason baseball in Oxford tomorrow night. Yeah, no doubt. What was Lincoln like? For me, that was my first time. I've been to Omaha, obviously, but I've not ever been to Lincoln. But the downtown was fantastic. I liked, I guess they call it the Haymarket District, with all their restaurants and shops and stuff. And then there's like a pedestrian bridge or two that connects the ballpark to that area. So it's a really nice, really cool setup. I compared it to when I was up in Milwaukee for the basketball tournament, I guess, last year. And it was very walkable, very fun little downtown, not like overbearing, overpacked with people. It was nice. I enjoyed my time there. Did you find a cool dive bar or a good restaurant or grill to hit? We found a couple of restaurants. They have a lot of, I guess you could call them quote unquote breweries in that area. But ate at a place called Laszlo's one night, a place called Lead Bellies, and then Sunday, after having to go cover an inning for 20 minutes, I went and ate some lunch at a place called Brewski's, which is basically like it'd be like their local sports bar, beat ups type place, which is a nice little place.
Isn't it cool?
There's a lot of, if you're a food guy, they had a lot of options, a lot of different genres of food all around in that little Haymarket area.
Is it a pretty big? I mean, what is it? Several 100,000 people there, roughly.
Yeah, the Lincoln town itself feels like it has a big footprint just driving around, but the downtown area is a very kind of compact and small little space. And the cool thing I think is they've kept all their old buildings, like they haven't torn down, but maybe 2 or 3 that they just kind of had to, and they've revitalized and turned them into restaurants. I stayed in the Hampton Inn. That was an old department store that it was an empty building for 10 years, and they just completely renovated it into a brand new hotel. So whatever Lincoln's leadership is doing, they're doing it right. I enjoyed it up there.
That's awesome. Jake Thompson on 3 Sports joins us on the Out of Bounds show. Ole Miss insider. He's on his way to Auburn, another beautiful town. I mean, the Auburn-Opelika area, you could argue, has boomed more than anything in the SEC. And they got it going on, man. They got that kind of 30A development out there on whichever side that's on, and it's popping and hopping. That place is great. I was there last year. I need to get down there a little bit more, but I'm not as mad at it as I was. This is ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right, Jake, let's switch gears to football. What the hell's going on? Everybody's kicking Ole Miss. Is it Ole Miss versus everybody? Is that the feel in Oxford?
Well, the more people keep talking, the more I think you're going to see that kind of mentality. As it's very strange, and maybe not strange to those who always said it's Ole Miss upsets the apple cart, or when a Mississippi State team has a really, really good season, it kind of upsets the apple cart, because it's not your Alabamas, your Georgias, your I guess now Texases and A&Ms and Floridas, your stalwarts, I guess, logos as they kind of is the phrase now. Everybody just goes off a logo. But what Ole Miss was able to do, and I think with in that run, and basically being a catch away from playing Indiana for a national title, it ruffled some feathers, and I think it ruffled them more when Lane left, and key people did not follow him, as in players, and didn't basically pillage the cupboard and take Golding plus all the offensive guys with him. And Golding stayed, kept the ship going, and they've recruited well, kept Trinidad, kept Lacey, kept some others, and did well in the transfer portal. And now they're still a favored team to start the season. Obviously you got to play 12 games to see what happens, but you would expect them to be in that top 15 or so preseason rankings, and got a lot of buzz. I mean, I think that's what's not people aren't liking, is that this transfer portal has created parity in every sport. Look what we just watched in college baseball over the weekend. I think that's proof of it right there. And so when you have parity, the teams that have perennially kind of been the dogs you've kicked out of the way to get to your SEC title game or national championship run are now barking back and beating you and looking like you used to look. So I think it's a lot of sour grapes, in my opinion, but they're going to say what they're going to say. I was shocked at really what Saban chose to use in his, I guess, testimony, if that's what it was yesterday, and his examples singling out Ole Miss. I was kind of taken aback by that. And but yeah, no, I don't think he helped himself when they get here, which I assume they'll be here September 19th. They hadn't announced it, but basically Pat McAfee said they'd come here for the Ole Miss LSU game.
Sure. No, I think Ole Miss or LSU could lose, and they're before that game, and they're still going to be there. I agree with you. I mean, you can't pass it up, because anything that Lane says goes viral in 10 to 15 seconds. We are the Out of Bounds show. We're driven by your next GMC Sierra truck, GMC Yukon, Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. We're visiting with Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider. He's on the way to Auburn. We'll see what Elliott and Townsend and Hooks can do this weekend. He mentioned Becerra getting, he doesn't even have to get April hot. He can just get like April warm, and that could be enough to get through the super regional. What's it like visiting with Pete Golding and the other football assistants with all the back and forth with Lane at LSU, Jake?
Pete's, for us, it's a breath of fresh air in terms of talking to him. Now, he's got a little, as a guy who's covered high school sports for a good chunk of his career, I can kind of reference this. He's got a little bit of a high school coach in him where he just kind of says what he says and kind of talks and maybe gets a little too X's and O's for some people's liking in terms of trying to understand him. But he's just going to tell you what he feels. And, that's a breath of fresh air as opposed to the last 6 years where you could say you were trying to decipher, code or psyop from whatever Lane Kiffin chose to answer your question with, even if it was nothing anywhere close to what you asked. And so that's been a breath of fresh air. And John David Baker's, the one time we got to talk to him over the spring, he was great, fantastic. And, Pete's still doing the defense, so we really will just be talking to him, a little bit of Brian Brown, who will kind of be his lieutenant, so to speak, on defense while Pete oversees everything. But, no, it's night and day. And, we asked a little bit about what Lane says. Of course, most of what the inflammatory stuff came after spring was done, so we really haven't gotten to talk to Pete. If they would quit doing spring meetings in Destin the first week of regionals, I'd probably go down there, and because that's basically turned into a mini media days 2 months beforehand at this point. So, all the fun stuff was kind of said before and during down there. And Pete, what I saw of clips of during his little scrums, I thought he answered and handled it well. I mean, he's having to answer questions about that, obviously the Clemson stuff and then NCAA things. So, he's kind of had baptism by fire ever since November 30th. Having to also be a guy in front of the camera during a college football playoff run. So he didn't really have that downtime of an off season where you could kind of go away and kind of, I guess, prep and get your answers ready. And I think he's handled it well, taking live rounds, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. Jake Thompson on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Ole Miss versus everybody. I thought it was Starkville versus everybody. It just depends on the week and the month and what's going on. Can you imagine what Lane's going to say SEC Media Days in Tampa? Or what next interview he's going to do? Right? He was with Big Cat the other day, and the USA Today guy. Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I'm staying the whole week down there because weirdly, a birthday present of mine was to take in the Wrexham preseason game, which happened to be at Raymond James that Saturday after Media Day. So I'll be there for the whole week, and I guess now I'll for sure have to sit there on Thursday when Lane Kiffin takes the podium. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to really care what he has to say, but I guess that was a fool's mistake on my part.
I love it. All right, so what are you doing down there again?
The Wrexham, that soccer team that's blown up over here that Ryan Reynolds and then another guy own.
Yeah.
They always do. They do a U.S. preseason tour, so to speak, like all the big English clubs do. And they just happened to announce Tampa, and it was the same week as Media Day. So I twisted some arms and got a couple tickets.
Nice, man. That's cool. All right.
So now I'll be down there for the whole circus that week.
Okay. You're a traveling man. Are you single?
I am.
All right. So if anybody's streaming the show from Auburn, Alabama, we've got Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider and single man, heading to Auburn, Opelika area for 3 days, maybe even into Sunday. And so look out for this man at the local dive bars and grills. Right, Jake?
Yeah. Y'all definitely watch out for this lady killer that's coming to Auburn.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, man, golly, you were in Lincoln last weekend and you had a great time, and evidently you had some really good food, and you watched your team win, and you had two phenomenal games. And now you're going down to in an SEC for both of our teams, which I think is ridiculous, but we're both in and we're fired up. So it is what it is. And you're going down for a big weekend, and they get into it down there, especially at this point, as far as Auburn fans. So I expect a packed park and a loud park. Don't you, Jake?
Yeah, no, Lincoln's, they share a field with an independent team, kind of like what the Mud Monsters are now. And their park kind of looked like a smaller version of Trustmark. It was almost laid out exactly the same. But when Nebraska and Ole Miss played, they filled that thing up. I think 7,800 was what they were banking for. And it was loud in that sixth inning when Ray couldn't really get his pitch comms to work every time they tried a new one, and they thought they were stalling. The crowd got a little rowdy and ruckus and loud, and Ray and Ole Miss got out of that inning unscathed. I think that was a big moment for them. And to Ole Miss and to Mississippi State's credit and kind of something they can lean on. Playing 10 weeks in the SEC, you're prepared for these kind of crowds that both of them are going to face.
True.
I mean, and Georgia and Ole Miss, or Georgia and State have played already in Starkville. So I think that helps negate it a little bit because these kids, both Auburn, Ole Miss, Georgia State, they're used to this for 30 games out of the season. So I think it's going to make it fun, but I think you can hopefully, for all those teams, take that out as something that might rattle them, being, what these kind of crowds are going to be in front of.
Yeah, I'm not happy that Georgia's good in baseball. They've been good enough in football. They don't deserve to win in anything else. It's kind of like Alabama in baseball.
That Daniel Jackson kid's the real deal, though. He's very good.
Oh, no question. And Trey Phelps, who's suspended for game one, but an absolute monster, both in the field and at the plate. Looks like he could start in the SEC at free safety or slot receiver. That guy's, Wes Johnson and Will Coggin. And look, Butch has some guys who look like strong safeties or damn near outside linebackers, edge rushers in that lineup. Good grief. All right, dude. Well, I hope you get a cold beer tonight when you get there and get settled, and have a great trip. We'll talk soon. Oxford versus everybody.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. Jake Thompson on the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by Ice Cold Bud Light and Wings at Martin's in Livingston. That is a winning combination, just like Ole Miss and Mississippi State baseball this year. You realize 2 out of the 16 teams are from the state of Mississippi? I know we say it, but do you really think about that for a second, realize how cool that is? I mean, that's unbelievable. So,
I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, everywhere, up and down, community college, baseball, really, really good here.
Yeah.
High school baseball, pretty dang good here.
Right.
We love it. But, I mean,
Are you going to watch some baseball this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
You watched I think you watched a little bit. You listen.
I listen. I like
Jay Powell and Neil on ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Love it. They do a really good job.
10 a.m. first pitch Saturday morning. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. I was talking to my son Wilkes about what they were going to do. He's on Eastern time. And he was like, Dad, we've got a huge Mississippi State group that's coming through. Wes. We've got a huge Mississippi State crew that they're going to some cool restaurant and bar
That's
in D.C. They had a big Mississippi State get-together after work yesterday.
Dang.
So there was like 150 people there. So that was cool. But 10 a.m., baby. Tito's Bloody Marys and wings or sliders.
a lot of people.
Think about all the different places you can. And then we got FIFA World Cup next week.
Right.
And what's the official beer? Michelob Ultra and Stella Artois. 2 of the beers that we talk about all the time. FIFA World Cup starts next week. Brought to you by Ice Cold Michelob Ultra and Ice Cold Stella Artois and Wings. You locked into the World Cup?
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Guys, I don't have time for that speculation.
Hey, good morning. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Brought to you by Ford Plumbing and Air. Ford, Plumbing and Air. Full service HVAC. They do a great job. Locally owned. Call them today if you have a plumbing issue or HVAC. Ford Plumbing and Air right here. They're located in Ridgeland, but of course they do business all over central Mississippi and the metro area, powered by Ford Plumbing and Air. We're ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Americans are obsessed with cheese, appetizers, entrees, you name it, cheesecake for desserts, among other things, right? We love to break bread. Then you had the whole charcuterie boom. Who knew? Starting 15 years ago or whatever it was. And did we go European then? I gotta think that through. Anyway, so 52% of Americans self-identify as cheese obsessed. Wyoming is the most cheese enthusiastic state, which I thought that would be Wisconsin since they're cheeseheads, allegedly. This is from Talker Research. And so the most cheese enthusiastic states are, and here we go. We'll do a little bit of this.
Show me the money!
Damn right. Wyoming, number one, as I mentioned. Illinois, number two. This doesn't make sense. Followed by Alaska. Okay. Maybe because they're inside all the time, so they hammer cheese. Or maybe that's just what they eat. It's easy, and they don't have any access to anything else. Louisiana, I can buy that. Oregon, lots of good vino produced up there and craft beer. And there's nothing better than a good cheese plate and a really, really good craft beer or glass of wine. Mississippi, doesn't surprise me. Again, some of the best cheese in the world is made on the campus of Mississippi State University. Nebraska, where Jake just was. Connecticut, okay. Maybe they do more wine and cheese boards than others. Idaho, that makes sense. And I don't know why. I see Idaho and cheese. Maine, and then New Mexico. So there you go. Now, if you want a list of the 10 favorite cheeses, you can probably guess the top two. You want to guess number one?
Queso?
Cheddar. And you want to guess number two?
Mozzarella?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cheddar is number one. And mozzarella is number two.
That's
of course, how many dishes does Taste Italian Kitchen, being a pasta place, Italian wood-fired pizzas? Hello. I mean, how many dishes do they have with any number of different cheeses that they use?
All of them are so good.
I know they are.
They're so good.
You had some beautiful lasagna in front of you at lunch on Monday, and it was, yeah.
Man, it was good.
And then I got some Parmesan cheese on my world-famous meatball.
That's right.
That I had for my lunch.
I was unaware that,
or mozzarella.
Thankfully, you bought you got something from Mackenzie that day as well.
Yeah, because I'm awesome.
That's right. So it was spaghetti and then the meatball, right? It was unbeknownst to me, she took the meatball off.
Okay.
And she was going to come back to it.
Okay.
So she doesn't chop it up.
Did the
and put
dog get it?
Oh no, I got it.
Oh, you ate it.
Oh yeah.
Now she had stole your. Was it your bread? Hold on. What
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Yeah, I don't know where that went.
She stole your cheesecake, and then you took the meatball off the spaghetti from Taste Italian Kitchen.
Yes, that's correct.
This sounds like
payback.
This sounds like Ukraine versus Russia.
That
That wasn't ever a war. This sounds like Ole Miss versus Auburn or Mississippi State versus Georgia.
That's probably fair.
Okay. Or Lane versus Ole Miss. Is this kind of divide happening now that the cheesecake disappeared and the meatball on top of the spaghetti from Taste Italian
There
Kitchen?
is. There's some kind of competition. I don't want to call it a rivalry, but there's something brewing.
Okay, there's something. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But there's a buildup.
Well, what's the next thing though? Like,
because
she takes my brush all the time.
Lane went straight to throw the gauntlet down. Y'all are doing a buildup.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's good.
He did. He went straight lighter fluid.
Yeah, he did. No, he had he just had a gun,
Yeah.
like a professional fire, like the fire spot down here.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get out a professional fire hose,
oh yeah,
that's what Lane used with lighter fluid.
No doubt.
He just said, "F it, let's go." I mean, not the hell with level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go DEFCON 1 right out of the gate.
Burn it down.
Turn that thing all the way on and let's roll. That's what Lane did.
He really did.
Or it's like knocking over a fire hydrant. That's what, and just full of lighter fluid.
He did.
Right?
I mean, did he have a choice?
Yeah, he did. But not for us because it's content gold. And this Lane versus Ole Miss thing is going to be never ending until Lane, I think, eventually ends up in the NFL. But until then, they're going to play every year.
They tell people.
Now, Ole Miss got really fortunate that they get LSU at home.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, at LSU. But we'll have that next year.
Right.
It will have tons of sizzle, but Lane going back to Oxford in year one after leaving Ole Miss is just a different deal. So back to cheese. Half the total cheese consumption in the world is of Gouda cheese.
Wow.
And there are around 1,000 different French cheeses. So if you're a cheese maniac, that can be on your bucket list. Bam.
Gouda's great.
Gouda's great. There's a good slogan from Jay Meadows.
There you
go. Gouda's great. Make Gouda great again?
There you go.
Okay.
I don't know if it ever fell off.
Well, that's a good point.
Gouda's been good.
I love.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, a really good glass of Elijah Craig small batch bourbon with a really good cheese tray starting about 30 minutes before whatever game it is you're locked in, or a Key City Mi Vida.
Yeah.
That's gold.
Why do we like cheese so much?
Because it's delicious.
I know.
And there's so many varieties.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You have so many options you had like 2 in the 80s, 3. And then the 90s, we kicked it up a spot. And then now, man, you've got so many different things going on. And like I said, cheese trays or cheese and fruit or charcuterie boards just exploded. And they go with sports.
Yes, they do.
It's easy to set that out on the island.
No doubt.
99% of people can find something on that tray, on that board that they like while having a conversation before and during a football, basketball, or baseball game.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah. Even vegans. Well, vegetarians.
What?
Vegetarians, they can eat cheese too.
Who gives a damn?
You said 99% of people.
Okay. All right. I don't know why you jumped.
Vegans got to eat
It's like
too,
you don't want to be a vegetarian.
No.
But you have to point out what they can eat.
I identify as one sometimes.
Will you put that on your LinkedIn and Twitter profile? I identify as a vegetarian. ... Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of like all these people identify as climate change advocates. Sometimes. Which, again, hoax, just like COVID.
Just trying to find some recruits.
We have a saying around our place, we eat off the floor. And if you're willing to eat off the floor, you can be special.
Our next guest eats off the floor every single day for his clients. Chuck Mullins, attorney at law, attorney to the stars, Cleveland Browns super fan, joins us on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Chuck Mullins, good morning. How the hell are you?
I'm good, man. I was going to give you a Macho Man just then. You kind of pumped me up, but I backed off.
You backed
off. It's like, nah, it's too early.
Yeah. Well, you're probably ordering a Drew Lock jersey. Isn't he going to start for the Browns this year at quarterback?
No, the season's not even started. Who knows, man? We're just kind of, we're taking applications now. So, we'll take anybody that looks like they can throw a football.
Yeah, that's why I thought like y'all would make a play for Tua, who's wildly overrated. Somebody like that would be perfect for y'all. Kind of following up the Deshaun disaster.
The Deshaun disaster is it's probably going to be taught in sports business classes in the future.
Yes,
how not to do things. Wow, and look, I know you're calling me about Myles Garrett, and I think that disaster led to where we are today.
Okay, walk me through that.
Well, of course, you take us back to 4 years ago in the spring of 2022 when we acquired Deshaun in the trade, and essentially said, made the. I think that at that time, and it's kind of laughable now, but at that time the Browns they just came off losing to the Chiefs the year before in the playoffs. And they had an injury-plagued quarterback season with Baker in 2021. So 2022, all the pieces were there on offense and defense was stout. And so they needed that quarterback, and Deshaun Watson was there. And they sacrificed their entire franchise at that point with the 3 first-round picks and I think several other second-round picks for Deshaun Watson, hoping he would be the guy. And when that didn't turn up, and now 4 years later, it was a disaster, as you say. And in order to restart, they trade their best player, arguably one of the best players in the league, definitely best defensive player, and to try to get back to what they were trying to get 4 years ago. And so that's why I say, had that not happened with Deshaun, we would be in much better shape with Baker Mayfield. And I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. If you would have just had his quarterback play for the last 3 or 4 years, he'd be a totally different franchise.
Yeah, that's true. God.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you look at the Browns, it's all, for the last 3 years, it's not only been an ineffective quarterback play, but Deshaun's not even been on the field. Last year he missed completely. The first year he was suspended the first 11 games. And it's you haven't even got the product that you purchase. You go in there, you get the shiny toy, and you're going to take it home and play with it, but you break it in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's and we didn't even get a chance to see what it looks like. And you essentially squandered the best defense, one of the best defenses in the league for the last, half decade, with inept quarterback. I like to call it, football malpractice is what they committed. and it is what it is.
That is fantastic. Chuck Mullins, Cleveland Browns superfan. Football malpractice again in Cleveland. And I can't believe, I understand the off the field stuff. I can't believe that he wasn't able to, guys have been through, guys have been through much worse and come back and played at a high level in the NFL, Chuck. I'm surprised he didn't. God, he was so good at Clemson. Then he showed signs of really having that pop in with the Texans, and they've been a little dysfunctional, especially on that side of the ball. Aren't you surprised he didn't turn the corner, Chuck?
Well, I am, until you delve into what everybody out there who still plays recreational sports like golf, or me at Bowling and Highball Lanes every Tuesday night, you get into your own head, right? You know, you've done this stuff for years. You're at the top of your profession, Deshaun Watson. But then there's that mental aspect of the game. And that was it for him. I think the year off in Houston where he was completely kept off the field for, no non-football reasons.
Isolated.
The stuff he went through with the media, it was constantly in his head. God knows what he was going through in his personal life, which he brought on himself, by the way. I'm not saying he was a victim. Sure. But I think all of that came to rest on the field. He could not get past. He couldn't get out of his own head. So the talent was always there. But the mistakes that we saw him make on the field, I'm sorry, I just was thinking about one play in particular where he threw it back. It was against the Bengals. He literally threw the ball backwards halfway across the field. And I was like, what? I mean, I used to coach Madison Ridgeland youth football, man. and my kids never did anything like that. And I was thinking, my God, that's not something somebody does who has been, like, to your point, who was a stud at Clemson, who was a stud in the NFL. And it's just like, and so I think it goes back to the mental aspect of the game, which, is getting more appreciated now, but explains a lot of the, when star athletes kind of aren't stars anymore and have all the tools. I think it goes to the mental problem. And I think it's very difficult, as you know. I mean, when you got it in your head, you got the yips. Look how many baseball players.
No question. And golfers, like you mentioned. No doubt.
Yeah, it just gets in there, and it sucks. It really does. If you've experienced it, I've experienced it, and it sucks. And I think that's what we're looking at with Deshaun. But getting back, I think the trade, unfortunately, I think it was the best thing the Browns could do. I think the Rams are going to be would not want to play those guys this year. Offensively, they were number one in the NFL. Defensively, they were fourth in pressure rating. And yeah, no, exactly. And guess who they're getting? Their defense is top half of the league, and I expect them to just be, barring injury and knock on wood, I don't want anybody to get hurt. They're going to be a really fun team to watch. And I'm happy for Miles. 9 years with Cleveland, and all he did was, he was our guy week in, week out. He was the Joe Thomas.
Yeah. Y'all have gone through two Hall of Famers and not gotten anything out of it.
You see, and that's the point, Bo. We've had the All-Pro Hall of Fame left tackle, and then you got this guy, the stud, and he didn't produce the wins. So I'd rather have 11, good to average to good players than the one superstar. And I think, it was great having Miles, great having Joe Thomas. But I think, again, going back to the football malpractice, you have to do more.
Yeah. Fair enough. Chuck Mullins on the Out of Bounds show, Cleveland Browns super fan, attorney at law. And, we'll see who Cleveland's going to start at quarterback this year and who they could get maybe down the line. Thanks, Chuck. Be good, buddy.
Later, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, man. We got to do a fantasy football hit with Chuck Mania, don't you think? Yeah. I mean, it's never too early. Ever. All right. We are the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And Jake Manning will join us coming up next. And we're going to talk about all kinds of as far as your game day experience. We're going to get into that. All right. Here we go. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app, and you can also watch the show on the YouTube channel Out of Bounds Sports. Rolling along here, we've got a big weekend of baseball, and y'all know that, with the Dogs and the Rebs in the Super Regional, and that's going to be a lot of fun. You know, Ole Miss plays tomorrow night. And Friday night, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. Mississippi State plays at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. So you're going to have your Tito's Bloody Mary ready and your cheese tray, since it's National Cheese Day. I know we like to soup it up in the charcuterie board world, but isn't that wild? Dogs are playing at 10 a.m. It'll be 11 a.m. their time in Athens, but 10 a.m. first pitch, you're going to have to be ready. Jackson has agreed to get up by 11 a.m. on Saturday morning.
That's right. Yeah.
And
a personal record.
Yeah, personal record. Get up at 10 a.m., right?
Yep.
By the way, Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com, joining us on the show. But you said you would get up by 11 a.m., which could be, who knows what inning, but let's just say it's the third inning.
Yeah.
And you're going to be ready.
A lot of baseball to go after the third inning.
Okay.
That's plenty.
I mean, just talk about crazy times. I mean, last week, the Ole Miss game, I mean, me and my dad wanted to tap out, but we just couldn't. They were battling back and forth.
They had 2 extra inning games in one regional.
Yeah. I mean, they were battling.
And one was 14.
14 on Friday.
Yeah.
That went forever. I did not stay at, because I was at Duty Noble.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
I got home.
Dang.
I walk over to a buddy's house on his back porch in Starkville, and we pour a little beverage, and we're watching. And I was like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah,
I mean, I got here, and eventually this has got to play out. And 14 innings.
God,
I didn't even come close. I thought I think I got I finished the 10th.
That's plenty.
Or maybe the 11th. And hell, they still kept rolling.
No,
they made an infield play to gun Ole Miss at home plate. The guy on third, that made me so sad. I just wanted to go to bed.
Oh, you were like,
it was a hell of a play.
What? I don't even know what time it ended. 2 a.m.?
Our time? Yeah, like 2:30.
Okay.
Something outrageous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so now the Dogs and the Rebs are playing SEC teams in the Super Regional. I don't agree with that, but that's what the committee has to do to not have it all SEC. So Ole Miss at Auburn, Mississippi State at Georgia. And Georgia's beat Mississippi State 4 times this year.
It's a good thing.
3 swept them at home.
We're due.
No, it's
and then beat them at Hoover.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's damn difficult. Georgia's really good, but it's really difficult to beat a team 6 times.
It is.
So we'll see how it looks. And I'm saying that because I think that's true.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah. No backing from chat yet. We'll see.
Don't need it.
We'll see what Claude says. All right. Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com. Now, Jake fits into, we're going to talk security first, but he does fit into our game day space because he makes your surround sound system in your living room, den, game room, man cave amazing. When you're from watching golf to FIFA World Cup to the Super Regionals to Omaha to SEC football and the NFL. That's all powered by MSSmartHomes.com. But something that's important to all of us is security and safety, right?
Yeah.
And that's you do a lot of things, but let's start with that.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys,
truly,
go ahead.
It's our bread and butter.
Yeah.
And Google has done such a good job of releasing new products and making them actually more affordable. And, capitalism doing what it does, making products better and more affordable. And so, like, our base camera package, doorbell, 2 cameras, everything hardwired, 1 camera on the garage, watching the carport and driveway, 1 camera on the back door, watching the backyard. For most people, that's what they care to see. Mm-hmm. Everything in, except for tax, it's $1,500. Install, teaching, white glove handoff.
Nice.
And
And that's safety and security.
And that's the thing that kills me. And we're happy to oblige clients, but it happens all the time that people call us because an incident happened.
Right.
And it's so upsetting knowing that we could have prevented that or we could have reclaimed that property. And I understand that, that they're wanting to protect themselves from a future incident, but at today's time, $1,500 to have 24/7 recording of your house. It's really not, it's not that big of an expense for if you mind. If you needed it after the fact, you're going to be kicking yourself that you didn't spend $1,500 on it when you could.
You got kids in and out of the house. You have dogs in the house that you love. You got your stuff that you like. There's a lot going on here.
We do all kinds of stuff. I mean, we really are full service, one-stop shop. But we had a client that we did an install for a couple of years ago, and she called me freaking out. And they wanted cameras really bad because her 2-year-old had gotten right up on the lake and was on the pier, and the neighbor saw it and called them.
Goodness gracious.
And see, with the Google cameras, you can create, it has Gemini's AI built in. They're crazy intelligent. We can create activity zones, and it wouldn't just say person seen in the backyard. It'd say your son, their name, Jake, walking in the backyard towards the lake. So something to that effect. It doesn't say person seen in your driveway. It says middle-aged man got out of a brown truck and walked up in that house. And then the best part is you can search it now. So used to, one of the big problems was you had to, did I have an incident at 3 a.m. and you're scrolling? You can ask it, did Jake's crew come by my house today? It'll say, yeah, Mississippi Smart Homes van was in the driveway from 10:30, and it'll pull the clip right up. So that little things like that just make it so much more functional than a traditional camera system.
And 10 and 15 and 20 years ago, because the bells and whistles are so much better.
And that's the biggest thing, is getting notifications where they're meaningful.
Right.
Because if they're bothering you all the time, you're just going to turn them off.
But
then if they're not notifying you when you need them, they're not doing their job. Right. And that's...
but as a parent, I'll get notified.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I mean, for $1,500 to have facial recognition and advanced detection where you can search and 24/7 recording, that's just a crazy amount of functionality for the price. And normally people would just get a 16 camera hardwired system, and we have cameras if we get broken into.
Right.
And maybe they would check them here and there. But it's just totally different when it's smart. We can customize them, and all of that's white glove and part of our installs. MSSmartHomes.com, locally owned, MSSmartHomes.com. Jake Manning on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, MSSmartHomes.com. All right, you're also security, safety. Yep.
Huge.
That's bread and butter.
$1,500 all day long.
We do monitored alarms too. If you are listening to the show right now and you care even at all about Jake Manning and Mississippi Smart Homes, if you have a monitored alarm and you don't care who's monitoring it, please call us. We would love to monitor your alarm. And we do same-day support, but we do cameras and alarms when it comes to that. So if you do have an alarm, it's not being monitored, you want it monitored, we can work on pre-existing equipment. If you've already got an alarm, but you don't even know what you're paying for it,
which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. We're young, we're hungry, so we tend to be cheaper than anybody else. And then obviously we're going to take better care of you than anybody else.
No doubt. MSSmartHomes.com. I've got both in my man cave and in my living room den, plus the camera that he mentioned, cameras in the back of my house. Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com. Now, let's also talk about the commercial component that MS Smart Homes offers.
Yeah, so we've really grown to be completely full service. Everything IT under a roof, residential or commercial, new construction or retrofit. And the biggest advantage, that's what we do for our clients. And then we service the whole state. So if you're somebody
I've seen you in Starkville and Oxford.
Starkville, Oxford. I mean, we've been as south as Osaka and as north as Corinth. Okay. I mean, so we literally service the whole state. And that's a huge service that we can offer. If you've got a house in the Jackson Metro, a game day, a hunting camp, an office, a business, you want all of those things working on one app. that's easy to use, that if any of that stuff messes up, there's only one person to call and they offer same-day service. That's what we do.
Got it.
And that level of convenience for both your business, for your home, for your hunting camp, for your house, for your condo, whatever it is really what makes us the best at what we do and being able to serve the client in a way that just nobody else can.
MSSmartHomes.com. Jake Manning on the Out of Bounds show. MSSmartHomes.com. In fact, your guy just texted me.
Yeah, so Bo texted me last night at about 5:30. Said, hey man, my remote's not working, my camera's offline. And it's not just because it's Bo. We do that for all of our clients, whether that's you're texting us that your Wi-Fi's messed up or your camera's offline or your remote's not working. We have a guy in the office that his full-time job is support.
Love it.
He exists to answer the phone. If he can't fix it on the phone with you, then he goes, hey, bud, are you home?
Now, I will say this, 90% of the time, y'all can fix it over the phone.
Yeah, little coachability, little FaceTime.
We don't think we can do it, but we can, because I've called y'all and you're like, all right, just do this, and it's simple.
Well, and that's one of the advantages of having a showroom. I mean, at this point, David and I have done it so many times that we've probably got it pretty memorized. But a lot of the times in the showroom, we're doing it with you. So when when you're sitting there going like, how does he know exactly where I'm trying to go? I have the same remote. I go 3 down,
right?
Settings. We're doing it on equipment in the office.
And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. Yeah.
Jackson knows that.
Yeah.
Right? Jay Meadows? I mean, you may not be able to fix that microphone stand.
No, I can't.
Do you think that thing will be fixed before SEC Media Days?
No shot.
By the end of the day.
Okay. Whoa.
End of the day. Give me like 3 hours.
Yeah, can we get that on like Kalshi or something?
No.
I'd like to.
No, you can't. The odds
like
would be astronomical.
Like to bet the under.
I would take the under.
Okay.
Life's too short to bet the under.
So this microphone stand will be fixed by the end of the day.
By 11:30. Honestly, as soon as we get off this, I'm going.
Let's not get too crazy.
I'm going downstairs getting
the real question is, do you have a flathead?
No,
we got one downstairs.
I mean, Napa Auto Parts is a client, and they sell Milwaukee tools, in which Jake Manning with MS Smart Homes came in this morning and was talking about how awesome Milwaukee tools are.
10 out of
And
10.
so I'm sitting here thinking, I guess I've got to carry or just a little bitty tool bag back here in the if I don't have one already.
Yeah, I think there's got to be one.
Or maybe Mark has one at Beagle Bagel in Madison. I know we've gone down there and poached off him.
I'm not leaving campus.
Okay.
I'll be on campus, and I will fix this by 10:30.
All right, let's switch gears. Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com, security, safety, they'll take care of it. $1,500 package to be able to see it on your phone, to know what's going on, the in and out, the Amazon drops, your kids in and out, whether they're 4th grade, 8th grade, high school, all the different people that are moving around all of our places.
Kids think it's cool. They like
it. They do.
It tends to get them
because they can actually
freedom.
work it for dad.
The teenagers tend to get pretty pissed. We had a meltdown the other day. I was like doing the teaching for the mom, and their 17-year-old daughter walked in and was like, "Excuse me, what are we doing here?"
That's right.
And I was like, "It's done. I'm sorry." She started
in the
going,
books.
My life is over. My life is over. And her dad
My
goes,
God, I can't sneak out at 2 a.m. in the morning without to see my boyfriend without my parents seeing it.
Her dad goes, "Excuse me, what the hell have you been doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
This is even a problem.
Exactly.
I didn't know that this was going to change your quality of life at all.
See, I'm a 90s kid. We didn't have that.
Latchkey kid.
We were able to just whatever. But no, that's funny.
Yeah.
That I can just see that a high school senior going, "Hang on. Do I have veto power?"
Yeah.
And the parents are like, no. We want safety and security.
The funniest part was her little sister is in middle school, and she was sitting there going, she's FaceTiming her friends, and she's going, "It's over, it's over." And her sister in the background goes, "For me, it never even started."
That's great.
That's fun.
All right, we got to switch gears. Mississippi State is going to Athens, and Brian O'Connor talked about going to Buc-ee's. And I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Are you kidding?
No. And so that's way too much stuff going on for me.
A lot.
Yeah, and I don't want to be So here's where I am, Jake, and this probably this doesn't say anything good about me, but I can't stop and mess around when I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the most I want to stop is 5 minutes, right? Let's if we need to get gas in the car or whatever, I'm rolling, and I don't want to,
it is an American experience,
right?
Yeah,
I have
no
I don't want to sit there and burn 40 when I could get to Orange Beach, Destin, or 30A, and get there and get everything ready and start enjoying the sand or the balcony.
I do love Buc-ee's, but to your point, we were coming back from the beach.
Okay.
I stop at a Buc-ee's to go to a nice bathroom.
Yeah, no doubt. I've heard it's
good.
like
it's fabulous,
pristine.
Yeah. Getting out of the parking lot, they had people running traffic. I was like, what kind of gas station are we at where we've got 3 or 4 employees running?
How about that?
Yeah.
They are,
It's
it's like
crazy.
being valeted at a Ritz-Carlton.
is.
All right, you're coming in.
Yeah, y'all
Whoa.
are leaving.
That's and evidently they have so many bathroom attendants. It's like when I was at the Masters 2 months ago. There's 400 people in there cleaning up. You feel like they just renovated it and cleaned it every time you walk back in.
Yeah.
This is
But
Buc-ee's.
it's the you can get anything in that place. It's amazing. It really is.
Have you been, Jackson? You have or haven't?
I have, but there wasn't perusing. We were in and out.
That's incredible for you because you can waste more time than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
The problem was I just wasted like an hour.
Oh.
So we were like,
So
all
all
right,
the
it's time
waste
to
was
wrap this
gone.
up.
We had to
Yeah,
go.
my allotment was out for the day.
I didn't even know you had that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that could be spent.
It's unlimited.
Right. I just thought.
Maybe it's only when he's in the company of other people,
Were you trying to go to the beach or come back from the beach, or were you somewhere else?
We were coming back, and I just we needed to get home.
Oh,
We
okay.
needed to get home.
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, the Mississippi State. Do you have the clip? All right. This is Brian O'Connor talking about the MSU baseball team stopping at a Buc-ee's somewhere. I didn't see one on the way to Atlanta. That doesn't mean there wasn't one, but I thought that they would be flying. By the way, I don't understand why they're busing. That blows me away. But let's drop it.
About 3 hours down the road, we're going to stop at a Buc-ee's and give them 30 minutes of Buc-ee's. I told them no showers, though. You can shower at Buc-ee's. We're not going to shower there, but get as many beaver nuggets as they want to get, okay?
Hope nobody gets sick.
My point with sharing that with you is it's intentional, right? You want them to enjoy it, to be loose, to have fun. And they've been craving to go to Buc-ee's all year. They wanted to go to Buc-ee's on the way to Hattiesburg from Dallas when we bust, and I told them they didn't earn Buc-ee's, right? We didn't beat UCLA. We didn't finish the weekend off. They earned Buc-ee's after this past weekend.
Okay. All right. So we should have given Jake some headsets, but we'll go over real quick. O'Connor referenced that they wanted, when they got stranded and grounded in Dallas after the UCLA game, which went late, and they couldn't get on their plane to get to Hattiesburg to play Southern Miss, then they had to bus all night, and they wanted to go to Buc-ee's, and O'Connor said, you didn't deserve it. You didn't beat UCLA. So now he gives in. He said, hey, you won the regional, okay, at home, and you get to stop at Buc-ee's and get these pulled pork brisket sandwiches and beaver nuggets that everybody talks about. Now, if I can make
there's also the jerky.
Okay, the jerky. Have you had it?
I'm not a big jerky guy.
Okay, got it.
Apparently, it's the real deal.
It's the real deal. All right. Have you had the beaver nuggets or the brisket sandwich?
I got to be honest, I'm a little scared of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
See, I just
it's called beaver nuggets, man. I'm scared.
And you're hoping that the players will be okay, but they eat other things on the road too. So what do we do with it?
Yeah,
it's no different than going through a really solid to quality fast food place. Is that fair? I mean, where would you put Buc-ee's food?
It's cleaner.
Would you put it at fast food level, or would you put it at like QSR level?
QSR.
No way.
Okay.
Really?
Would you put it at quick service restaurant level?
Hey, no
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
No way.
All right. I'm just
what they have going on in there as a small business owner. It's flabbergasting.
Oh, I mean,
it's
incredible.
There's 700 people. There's 700 different items in the store. I don't know how they keep up with any of it. I mean, truly,
it's pretty wild.
So there's 700. There's a Mississippi State guy that.
They sell like fine art on the walls,
dude.
And then they
Well,
have like
what do you mean by
then you
fine
got like
art?
what you get your knives and your
No.
and your American T-shirts and like.
I love
yeah.
all that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
all into getting patriotic. I'm still not going to go if I don't have to. I would think that the only person that could talk me into it is if I ever, and I don't want them right now, if I ever have grandkids, because you'll do anything. The one thing that I got to see in my life is when you become, I'm not one right now, but my parents and Wendy's parents, when you become a grandparent, you'll do any of that stuff. Just because it's stuff to kill time and you got the little person and they're 3 or 4. And if they want beaver nuggets, you're taking them, you're retired. You get to go to the beach whenever. So you take them off your kids' hands because they're still working in their 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s. That's the only thing that I see. So if I can make it, whether I'm here for another month or 15 years, if I can make it without going to Buc-ee's, other than taking grandkids, I'll be good.
I think one day you'll
I think you're
accidentally
just missing out on an American pastime.
Look out.
That may be the truth. That may be true.
It's just it's something
I may
that
do it. I'm not going to
people
do it
need
during
to
this time of
behold.
year. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
June and July, and I don't even know if I'm going to the beach in the next few weeks, but June and July, Jake, as you know, I mean, it's insanity on I-10.
Oh my
so
God.
I can't do it. So the only way I'd be able to do it is like if Wendy and I go to the beach in October, which is our favorite time, and it's at least 50% less people, even though it's still busy. Does that make sense, Jake Manning?
No, I hate large crowds. I do.
Can you imagine what Buc-ee's is like today and tomorrow and the next day with it being peak beach season in Orange Beach, Destin, and 30A? That one past Orange Beach or whatever at Orange Beach?
It is. It's slap packed.
Yeah.
Well, they already do numbers regardless, whether it's December or January. Can you imagine what they do in May through August?
Just like a report of like their sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Makes me sad. We work, we pull wire, we mount TVs. They're like, we sold $400,000 worth of jerky this month.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
no,
okay.
like this week.
What is it? Are you Googling over
Typical Buc-ee's travel centers average 15 to 20K a day.
there? What? Is that counting gas sales?
No, I don't think so.
Not.
30K on the on heavy holiday travel and beach travel.
Absolutely. I think that's low. But
I think it's low
but
too.
I think I can go with the 30K. 15 sounds really low.
So
we got a texter
it does.
that said the brisket sandwich is definitely a must try. Everybody keeps telling us that.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
So the big ones, the big.
I think
busy
I'll have
ones,
a brisket sandwich at Martin's in Livingston and just call it even.
They're seeing no way. They're seeing 55 to 80,000 a week. Cars,
That doesn't surprise
Vehicles.
On an I-10, they've got one in the coast area, and they've got one in the Orange Beach exit area if you're going there or Destin or 30A.
Yeah.
Average amount,
which is the one Jake's been to.
Average amount spent per customer, almost $60.
That's incredible.
It's $58.
That is strong.
What do you buy?
That's an incredible number.
That is
per person walking in Buc-ee's, $60.
God bless.
Beaver
what are we
nuggets.
doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know. They're selling American flag hats, which I love. They're selling beaver nuggets and brisket sandwiches and crushing it. And I guess a bunch of cold beer, right?
Yeah.
All right. Jake Manning, you want your house to be secure. You want the security. You want to have it on your phone. You want to know who's going in and out, whether it's the people that live in your house or all the other things that go on in your house, your condo, your hunting camp, commercial. They can handle it all. You only have to call one person. MSSmarthomes.com. We kept Jake a little late. I'm sorry to whoever he's meeting at 10 a.m. Jake Manning, MSSmarthomes.com, locally owned. Their showroom floor is in Ridgeland behind Kralaka's. Jake Manning, MSSmarthomes.com.